Okay, for our next example, I'm actually going to do problem 30 in the book, which is similar to problems 28 and 29, or 27, 28, whichever ones were the ones that I assigned to you. This one's a little bit different, though, in that it's not yet in standard form. So the first thing we have to do is put it in standard form by getting the 1 over here on the right side. So in order to get that one, we're going to divide everything by 16. So 4y squared divided by 16 minus x squared divided by 16 equals 16 divided by 16. So that we will then have y squared over 4 minus x squared over 16 equals 1. Okay, so now that problem looks more like the problems you will be doing on your assignment. For these problems, what we're going to be doing is, here it is again, we're going to be finding these things: the center, the transverse axis, the vertices, the foci, and the asymptotes. Well, first of all, there's no h and k, so we can quickly tell that the center is at 0, 0. Next, we can take the square roots of those numbers to find a and b. A is the important one next because that gives us our vertices. Before we figure out where the vertices are, though, you might want to have drawn a picture to begin with because that'll make it easier to make sure you're doing it right. Because the y is positive and the x is negative this time, the transverse axis is going to be the y-axis, so going up and down. That's going to put the vertices at 0, 2, 0, negative 2, instead of like on the other problems we've done today where it's been like 2, 0. So I hope you notice that difference. Okay. Then to find the asymptotes, because the a value is associated with y and the b value is associated with x, this time to do rise over run, we have to do rise a over run b. And there's something I messed up earlier when I was giving you the formulas, and that is that there should be an x there because that's the slope. So a is 2 because we did the square root of 4 is 2. And b is 4 because the square root of 16 is 4. So rise 2 over run 4 gives us a slope of 2 over 4, which reduces to 1/2. So the asymptotes will be 1/2 x and negative 1/2 x. Okay? Next is to find the foci. We've done this before. So we have the square root of a squared plus b squared. And so a squared is 4, b squared is 16, so it gives us a total of 20. Square root of 20 is 2 squared root of 5. That's the exact number we'll use when we actually list the foci right there. But when we go to graph it, we're going to want to do square root of 20 as a decimal, so 4 point something. It'll be between 4 and 5. Probably 4.5 is pretty close. Okay, now we just have to take all the information together and graph it. So let's do that. So to graph this problem, I've already written out all the information. We know our center's at 0, 0. We found a vertex at 0, 2, and another vertex at 0, negative 2. We have a slope of 1/2, so there will be a point there to get to an asymptote. Be a point here to get to an asymptote, and a point here to get to an asymptote, and a point here to get to an asymptote. Or you could do the box, where you go over 4, since the b value is 4, your asymptote should end up in exactly the same place. So we'll have an asymptote going this way, and an asymptote going this way. Okay, transverse axis, of course, is this way. Our hyperbola is going to follow these asymptotes, so this one's going to be a little bit wider than we've seen before. Okay, I didn't draw that very well. And then our focus is up like at 4.5, so farther away from the vertex than we've been used to seeing so far. Focus here, hyperbola, vertices, asymptotes, and we are done.